Hey, what's really going on? Bitcoin, cryptocurrency. We're looking at Cardano against USDT, checking out the key technical aspects, looking for pivotal areas of support and resistance. We've already seen up to 151% in gains with engineering robos by suggestions, easily turning a potential $10,000 investment into over $25,000 with engineering robos by suggestions. And so while I do believe there is no hurry to sell at current levels, however, we do need to take into consideration one of our chosen three robo advisors becoming bearish on Cardano at current levels, suggesting perhaps some very short-term downside or sideways may present itself. We do have some key areas of support and resistance to consider. Price action may interact with resistance overhead around $2.85. My opinion is going to be a key area of sell pressure for us moving forward. And we do have support present around $2.17, which could be another area of accumulation that we could very much interact with because, as you can see, price action has just come out of an abrupt change in momentum here. Lots of traders taking profit and selling at this kind of crucial $3 level, some technical resistance present. And so, if you weren't taking profit when everybody kind of else was at those levels, and you held through this abrupt kind of short-term downside here. As you can see, price action is still in very high demand with these kind of wicks reaching downward and coming back up within the day. We can see there's definitely a lot of buy pressure and bullishness for Cardano moving forward. However, I suspect a more comfortably bullish area of accumulation will present itself if we can further solidify some areas as support. We may see some daily candles come down and interact with my $2.18 level. I do believe that would be a very bullish area of accumulation for us. To allow for some very bullish upside, because I do believe there are going to be some very strong factors of bullish and bearish aspects coming into play, causing some very volatile sideways, especially when we consider the fear and FOMO zone. Here we have price action interacting with it very recently from the 19th of August all the way to the 7th of September when we fell out of it abruptly. Up in that FOMO zone is where very high sell pressure is present, and longer term investors are going to be taking profit on their sort of holds on Cardano. Traders that have been accumulating since perhaps the 5 cent sort of range for Cardano. And then we're holding through all of the sort of sideways, ridiculous ups and downs, and are now taking profit up in this range, capitalizing on 2,183% or 3,637%, or around current levels 4,653%. So I do believe there is definitely some factors contributing to the sell pressure overhead. However, the fundamental demand and buy pressure for Cardano at current levels is very much in play, and so that does suggest some longer term upside for this coin. However, in the immediate short term, we may need another phase of sideways, perhaps similar to the kind of middle of February of this year, all the way to essentially the kind of end of July, where we see price action interact with the FOMO zone, get well up into the FOMO zone, fighting against that high sell pressure, but ultimately making its way out of it, and then getting some very bullish support around $1, sending us upward toward the moon, currently coming out of that kind of $3 range. So price action and a very volatile state. We may need some short-term sideways or downside to allow the uptrend to continue. Overall, I'm still bullish on Cardano. However, in the immediate short term, I'm looking for potential interaction with this $2.18 level if we were to get kind of short-term bearish. I do believe there's also resistance present now at $2.84. So lots of factors coming into play, contributing to the short-term volatility. I do believe a more comfortably bullish opportunity to purchase Cardano will present itself, and jumping into this coin today would be subject to the highest chance of short-term downside, in my opinion. So definitely lots going on for Cardano at the moment. Let me know in the comments down below where you think price action is going to go. Now we're looking at SOL against USDT. Price action looking very overbought, aggressive upside and bullish momentum in a very short amount of time. We can see price action coming from a bullish area of accumulation. EngineeringRobo suggesting buy pressure around $28.39 per SOL. And then we see price action rally up to 653% over the following 48 days after EngineeringRobo becomes bullish, allowing you to turn a potential $10,000 investment into $70,000 with EngineeringRobo's buy suggestions. And so as we see price action, experience some mild exhaustion in the short term here, a brief kind of pullback and sort of a very short term downside. And we don't have any sort of bearish suggestions coming into play just yet. However, I do believe technically, in my opinion, we are a tad overbought, and price action that has been sort of this bullish in a very short amount of time will likely be subject to perhaps an abrupt correction downward and interaction towards support before the uptrend can continue. And so while I am still overall very bullish on this coin, and I do believe the upside will very much kind of continue, and there are definitely higher highs ahead, I believe technically we are a tad overbought, and at current levels we are subject to kind of abrupt pullbacks, or perhaps over time we come downward toward potential support around $73. In my opinion, is going to be at the moment the sort of clearest bullish area of support for us, unless we start to solidify support around kind of some sort of higher levels here that we've just sort of plowed through. Right now, we're looking at tad volatile. EngineeringRobo still bullish on price action. If we refer to kind of previous sort of times we've seen these buy signals, we see the buy 4, buy 1, and moon come into play around $1.68, and then we see price action rally up to 3,348% after EngineeringRobo becomes bullish on price action, turning $10,000 into $340,000 with EngineeringRobo's buy suggestions, until we see 2 of our chosen 3 robo advisors get bearish around $31, allowing you to capitalize on a 1,760% ROI, still turning $10,000 into $180,000 with EngineeringRobo's buy and now sell suggestions. And so it's key to pick 3 of the many different robo advisors that come with EngineeringRobo's different packages. And so once you have 3 that best fit your strategy, when 2 of your chosen 3 give you a buy or sell suggestion, though that is used to determine your entry and exit sort of positions. And so EngineeringRobo is not used to determine the tops and bottoms of the market. It is used to suggest the best areas of accumulation and take profit that have the highest chances of success. And so at the moment, SOL looking very bullish in my opinion. Still lots of demand, lots of bullish buy pressure right now. I do believe we are a tad overbought, traders looking a tad greedy, and we might be subject to some abrupt interaction downward. So right now, I do believe a more comfortably bullish opportunity to purchase SOL may present itself. I mean, we do have a potential kind of short-term target around maybe $110, or perhaps even $138, in my opinion, could be areas of support that we may come down to. And so at the moment, I'm looking for support. I'm looking for interaction downward because I do believe any uptrend requires these pullbacks to remain at sort of healthy gains of what comes up. And this kind of quick manner is usually subject to just as quick downside. And so we're taking a look at Bitcoin against USDT. We're looking at price action currently interacting with some rather bearish sell suggestions. EngineeringRobo printing a sell for and hell signal. If you're accumulating with EngineeringRobo became bullish, you've already seen up to 53% in gains over the last kind of 45 days. However, if you didn't take profit at that swing high, at the kind of local high there, you are suggested to perhaps take profit in your position around current levels to capitalize on 33% in gains with EngineeringRobo's now bearish suggestions printing. And so I do believe price action is undergoing some very critical confliction between some rather high potent fundamental buy pressure interacting with some very high technical sell pressure. And so I do believe there are many traders taking profit and selling at current levels, fearful, uncertain, and doubtful of the direction of Bitcoin. However, I do believe the overall fundamental bullish buy pressure and demand for Bitcoin overall is definitely coming into play, and price action could very much hold over some aggressive sell pressure present. If you were to experience some downside and a continued rejection off of the 200 daily moving average, interaction with a 0.786 line, $41,500 per Bitcoin is going to be my target before we kind of make our way back upward to resistance around $48,000 per Bitcoin. And so failure to hold the 0.618, I have another area of support around $38,000 per Bitcoin. While that looks a tad more unlikely in my opinion, that is not impossible and would overall still be bullish for us when we inevitably reach the $116,000 level per Bitcoin by the end of this bull run, if you will. I'm expecting at least a 6-figure Bitcoin before we experience any sort of prolonged sort of downside. So in my opinion, we're still looking, quite bullish. However, in the immediate short term, there may be some very volatile downside or sideways at a more comfortable area of accumulation, and a more comfortably bullish area of accumulation may present itself for us moving forward. Now, it's never a bad time to buy Bitcoin, only better times. Let me know in the comments down below where you think price action is going to go. Check out EngineeringRobo, free with a link in the description. Just subscribe here on YouTube. Check out all the other social media. Thank you for tuning in, and tune in for the next one.